flipping through the dial, had watched the news in a while. Turn on CNN, ain't see none of my friends. Swag gave me the blues, they never walked in my shoes. They want us living in fear, it ain't what I'm trying to hear. Switched it over to Fox, kept clicking, I barely stopped. New guest on NBC, no one that represent me, so I got tired of waiting. Sit master debate, give me some headlines, it must be past bedtime. Sleeping on me still like I ain't vitamin D for real. Rep your city, play devil's advocate. Wayne Brady gon' have to smack a bit. Tell me something good, a recipe for success. Give me some timeline, shop session and flight deck. Hey, P, what's next?
DecaturboyMusic.
Yeah. It's your nigga C.O.D, DecaturboyMusic, welcoming you to the 10th episode of Gimme Some Headlines. That right, we made it to the 10th episode, you know what I'm saying? The DS out there bit, so y'all already know we had to get some of that 19 crime, pop that wine. And you see it, you can treat yourself. Ooh. Shit. That sound like we about to start a party, and we about to party. Y'all already know we can't kick that thing out without my nigga P.
It's your boy P. Henry Trotter the Fourth, aka Casino P, aka P.R. I'm about to say P.R. by itself. Mr. Long P. aka Home Run Trot. aka the Dog Whisperer. What it is, man?
Man, you already know what it is, man.
We in double digits now.
We did it, man.
Doing this thing.
I done went back to the office chair, man. Went ahead and set my setup, man. My nigga P said, man, you got all these comments on your boy, man. Get your setup right, cuz. Just so y'all know, man, we A&R this thing on the fly, man. We executive producing this thing as a team.
Yeah, man.
As soon as I start talking, feel the silence, nigga.
That's what I did when you stopped talking.
Well, it was about 3 breaths, man. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get you kicking, man. On this week flight there, bro, I went back and forth about a lot of topics, man. I actually called you with a topic. And the basic element of how I'm gonna do this, guy, man, I'm gonna start to introduce the world to the philosophy of C.O.D, aka tabula rasa, aka blank slate. You feel what I'm saying? And it feed into the conspiracy, brother. It feed into my imagination, how I create from silence to finished product with this motherfucking music. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the basic element of it is taking something we've consumed and making a supposition or a hypothesis or a thesis about it. You feel what I'm saying? And just introducing the world to philosophical structure and philosophical thought, but not being too highbrow. You did what I'm saying? So I know you've been catching the NBA playoffs. Am I right or wrong?
Right. Some of it. Most of it.
You caught the Kyrie Irving injury?
I did not catch the Kyrie injury. I did read about it, though. I saw that he sprained his ankle.
Yeah, it did. Pretty much what happened to LeBron, you know what I'm saying? High ankle sprain, but he came down on Giannis' foot as opposed to somebody diving into his ankle and that causing them to roll it. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
But the whole point
that bitch will touch the floor on your ass. Yeah.
Yeah. It ain't what you want at all. You feel what I said? But my overarching point is KD, he's dodged it in recent years, but in a great bit of his career, he's been compared to LeBron in the way that he kind of replaced Carmelo in the who's better, LeBron or Carmelo debate. It became LeBron or KD. because he was a little bit taller, scoring prowess a little bit stronger, a little bit more efficient than Melo. So he took a lot of the narrative that was surrounding Melo in Denver because he never won when he went to New York. You feel me?
Yeah.
So if you're going to constantly try to crown this nigga and put him in the conversation with GOAT Jane, then let's have that conversation. The moment Kyrie went down, everybody started making excuses and talking about there's no way he's going to be able to beat Giannis and the Bucks without Harden and without Kyrie. And I'm like, yo, I remember when I forget his name. It might have been Kelly Olynyk or somebody grabbed Kevin Love's shoulder and snatched it out the socket in the first round.
With that weak ass ponytail.
Straight up. And then Kyrie knee went wonky on him, came down funny, and that bit went snappity pop crackle. He's still been struggling with that knee. But ain't nobody made no excuses for that nigga. LeBron James carried that team all the way to the finals, and all they do is add that to his list of finals failures. So I'd be damned if they make all these excuses for KD and keep putting him in the conversation with LeBron. And my thesis or my hypothesis is very simple. The rubric that you grade someone on tell you everything you need to know before you even get the evaluation. The fact that LeBron is expected to go to and win a finals when his next two stars go down, and they already making excuses for KD in the second round, when his opponent is the equivalent of what LeBron had to go through the East with. The Toronto Raptors at the time kept getting the number 1, number 2 seed, battling Cleveland for that number 1 seed, but when they came to Cleveland in the playoffs, they got mopped. The Bucks had the number 1 overall seed, went up against their rival, the Heat, last year, and they got mopped. You feel what I'm saying? They keep having the same early round playoff failures, not making it to the conference finals. So you're not going to tell me the Bucks is this juggernaut that he shouldn't be able to take down. You feel what I'm saying? Yep. They are the Toronto Raptors from a couple of years ago. Yep. Meaning, if you remove LeBron from the East, those same Toronto Raptors go and win the fucking NBA championship. You can say Kawhi did something special, but you're not going to tell me that DeMar DeRozan, that had them having the number 1 record in the East with LeBron, with Paul George, with Dwayne Wade, with the Boston Celtics in their conference. They had the number 1 seed a couple of years. They fired Dwayne Casey after he had the coach of the year before they won that championship. They had the coach of the year and the number 1 seed. They just couldn't beat LeBron. He leave the conference. They make it out of the East and face a hurt Golden State team. You ain't going to convince me DeMar DeRozan couldn't have beat the Golden State Warriors without KD, without Clay, with Draymond injured. You feel what the fuck I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the team LeBron got the fuck up out of here without K-Love and without Kyrie.
Right.
So you're not going to tell me he's not supposed to mop them up. And they was healthy. So you're not going to tell me he's not supposed to mop the motherfucking Milwaukee Bucks. And if you are telling me we shouldn't expect him to pull it off, you are telling me we grade him on a different rubric than we do LeBron James. You are telling me he is playing single A high school basketball and LeBron is at a 5A, 8A juggernaut school. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
They both champions. They both get state championship rings, but they are not in the same league if you grade them on different rubrics. Period. What's your thoughts, bro?
I agree, man. And when it comes to especially when it comes to Bron, he is graded on a rubric that nobody else is graded by. Like his rubric is, and that's in my opinion, completely looking at this objectively without the goggles of this is the greatest player of all time. If you listen to how people grade him, if you listen to what he's lost in so many finals, he's been to this many, he's lost in this many, he has a losing record in the finals.
Yep.
That is a mark against him for being one of the last 2 teams. Like,
I call that Highlander. You got
in a foot
only
race, or
be
if you when you're the contender to the heavyweight champion, it's never you have to become the number one contender. So are you a worse boxer? Are you a better boxer if you never get to be that contender, if you never lose in that position? You never get to that position to lose in that position. That it don't make any sense. Is y'all grading this man on this completely different rubric than y'all grading everybody else?
Thanks.
Like y'all didn't grade Jordan on this rubric, y'all didn't grade Larry on this rubric, y'all didn't grade Magic on this rubric. Y'all are certainly not grading the new generation on this rubric.
They clown LeBron for losing to a Spurs team that had 4 Hall of Famers on it. And we ain't gonna talk about the Steven Jacksons, the people lining the bench that were 13-year fucking veterans. You feel what I'm saying? Like the Robert Horrys and shit. We're not gonna talk about like that nigga had 6 championships when they threw the ball up. You know what I'm saying? That Tony Parker had 3. Wow, LeBron didn't win his first championship over a group of people going for their 7th, 4th, and 5th championship. Wow. But KD should get a pass going against a nigga who ain't done nothing but choke in the motherfucking playoffs.
A nigga who famous for being a regular season MVP and has not proved to be the best player in the playoffs since he been in them. Like that's the rubric that he's graded on, man, and it is horrible.
And the nigga done had a 2-year vacation. I don't want to hear that he coming off the Achilles just because the last time he played, it was the Achilles injury. The nigga took a whole year off and got paid for it. You ain't gonna, I'm counting that shit if he got 40 million for it. Fuck that shit.
And if we're really talking about it, man, we had, if Bron get any flack for this year, he had to turn around in how many months and start playing again after winning the ship?
72 days.
72 days.
1 in October, played Christmas. He got November off. Played in December.
In some places, you get free trials longer than 72 days.
Yeah, in Georgia, your ass ain't even going to trial until a year and a half.
72 days. That man had to turn around and play another 80 games. How many games? What, 72 games? 72 games.
Yeah, condensed the season, 72.
72 days.
And he got injured and had to come back straight into the playoffs after being injured and taking off 5 weeks. No excuses for Bron when AD get hurt. He's supposed to took down the number 2 seed Suns. What seed is the Bucks again?
The Bucks is the 2 seed. No, it's 4 seed. 4 seed.
Exactly.
4 seed.
Brooklyn got home court. They are the higher seed. But the Lakers were supposed to take down the Suns as the 8. I mean, as the 7 coming from the play-in. I call bullshit.
Playing another 2 games.
I call bullshit. But yeah, man, yeah. I ain't even gonna tell you where to apply this logic, but think about different places in your life where the expectations for you far exceed those of your peers. Some of you may be working jobs where you are asked to do 10 times as much as your coworkers, and you either get the same or less pay than them just because they've been there longer.
Yeah.
And they don't like it when you half-ass it and produce the same amount that they do because they're working as hard as they can to produce that much. Understand that the rubric that you are graded on say so much about you before you ever even get the evaluation. You can call it the LeBron effect. You can call it whatever you want to. But if you do not expect KD to dispatch of the Bucks and then to put a hurting on the motherfucking Sixers or whoever come out that Atlanta series, You telling me right then and there, you don't see him as LeBron. He ain't the GOAT. And if you say Jordan is undefeated in the finals, but having 4 first-round losses is cool, I'm going to respect what you said, but you telling me that you choosing a different rubric. So you can say he the GOAT, but you telling me he the GOAT if you only pay attention to the best 6 years of his career.
Right.
And you can take the MVPs from when he got swept in the first round. You can take the scoring titles from when he got swept in the first round. You can take the defensive player of the years from when the Pistons bopped his ass 3 years in a row. But you only talk about the championship years. Similar to KD on the Warriors and Stephen Curry on the Warriors. They were not players that were any worse. But them two between the two had won the past 3 MVPs. Russell Westbrook thrown in there. It's been 5 years. Neither one of them even sniffed the top 3 of the MVP conversation. It's a reason Jordan stopped winning MVPs when they started winning championships. It's because that roster was motherfucking stacked. But like I said, man, when you see the rubric, it says so much more about the person before you ever even hear the evaluation. I promise you, if you hear somebody say that Meryl Streep movie was bad, it was better than a motherfucking, I don't want to say an actress who not Meryl Streep and hurt her feelings or cause smoke from their fan base, but it's better than a lot of other movies. A bad Meryl Streep movie is a good movie. Like, Death Becomes Her. Have you seen that shit with fucking my man from Die Hard, Bruce Willis? And yeah, and Goldie Hawn. I think
seen that joint. Yeah, no, bruh, I haven't seen that joint.
Bruh. It is not what you think it is. It is not what you think it is.
Street fan,
bruh. I don't care how deep into the movie you get. It is not what you think it is. Let's say it's about immortality. Check that motherfucking movie out. And I don't even know if it's on streaming services and shit because I own it. But said all that to say, this year for LeBron was Death Becomes Her. It wasn't Mamma Mia, but he's still fucking Meryl Streep. You understand me, cuz?
Right.
And when you go watch a Sandra Bullock or Meryl Streep or Robert De Niro or fucking a Joe Pesci joint, you know what I mean, a Scorsese film, you expecting, like, if Scorsese drop a movie and it don't get Oscar buzz, something went horribly wrong. Or the movies that came out that year were amazing. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Similar to LeBron. Either he the champion or you got to beat him to be the champion.
Right. In seasons where he's not, it's an anomaly. It's just...
And most people are like, like, this is what's funny, bro. Every team that went deep into the postseason last year, nowhere to be found at this stage of the playoffs. But they gonna say last year was a fluke when the number 1 overall seed won the title. Lakers were the number 1 overall seed. They win the championship last year was a fluke. They gonna end up with a Phoenix Philly finals with the lowest rated finals in the decade. Because you got to think, we talking the Heatles into the motherfucking Cleveland Cavaliers, Warriors motherfucking rivalry, into the Kawhi years, into the bubble. This is going to be the lowest rated finals in forever. We'll see if they miss Bron. Even the people who hate them ain't going to be watching this shit because it ain't nobody to hate. They're not fans, they're haters.
That's an interesting perspective. Yeah, we watch most sports stuff, and that's why I watch the Super Bowl.
And that's another thing about Durant, bro.
This year.
It's people who hate LeBron and hate on LeBron. Yeah. I believe it's people who just flat out don't like that nigga Durant. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if he was a boxer, niggas would be fine hearing he lost on Monday. Niggas want to see LeBron lose on some Mayweather shit.
Yeah.
I see that nigga lose. Y'all ain't see what he did there, and when he hit the game winning shot, they like, whatever. He missed more than he hit. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you like seeing Alabama in the college football playoff. Somebody can knock them off. People love to see Clemson win them for them couple years. Loved it. Because I'm tired of seeing them. I'm tired of seeing Nick Saban get his way. I'm tired of seeing them win. Yeah.
LeBron is either Harry Potter.
When they haters.
LeBron James is either Harry Potter or he is Lord Voldemort. You hear me?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is like Sirius Black. He could be a villain, but he in one of the films. You feel what I'm saying? He not a reoccurring player. If you are a fan of magic in the world of Harry Potter, you are either rooting for LeBron or you are either rooting against him. KD not that figure. He not that nigga.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to feel a way about LeBron. You don't have to feel a way about KD, and niggas still just dislike him. And that's different than hating on a nigga.
I got a question for you. What do you think caused that? Like, why do people hate LeBron so much? Is it because he was 14 years old and hailed as the next coming of the guy they love to prop up and elevate because of his 6 championships? Or is because somebody is challenging that legacy that everybody from the 90s and beyond who saw Jordan play, like what causes that hatred for LeBron? Because I know what it does for the person who I asked you to 86's name in the last episode. I know what creates it for him, and it's created his career. Like you made a comment. I think you said that his writing career was centered around something, but his TV
following dynasties.
Like he followed around dynasties. So he followed around the Chicago dynasty. I think he followed around the San Antonio dynasty, and like now his
San Francisco 49ers, Cowboys. He was out there with Coach Walsh
for the 49ers. Oh, he wrote about the 49ers.
He spent time out there as what's the city? Not San Francisco. It was one of them Bay Area cities. He was writing for the paper, so they were the team in the area type shit. But the Cowboys used to do they did a training football camp. Training camp, that's what they call it. Yeah. Right. So he was always Cowboys, but he covered them as well just because he was out there. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, it's interesting, man, that it sparked another thought that if you want to be famous, man, get people to hate you. Like a big part of that, or if you want to, there is a place in this world for you to earn yourself a living by either hating on somebody or being hated.
Interestingly enough, you got to ask yourself this kind of, I guess, another hypothesis or supposition. If there is equity in being hated in that regard, does it exist in the realm of those universal laws where energy can neither be created nor destroyed? When it comes to achieving something, whether it be notoriety or success or gaining attention, garnering attention in order to build a platform for what you love, whether it be playing the game, music, poems, or whatever it may be, social justice, affecting change in the community, is it irrelevant whether or not people hate you or love you, but integral that they simply feel something? because that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Those individuals are going to be committing that energy to something. And if you want a platform for whatever reason, you need to be Shang Tsung, collecting those souls or collecting those energies, collecting that ire, that attention. Because these are all people who exist in the realm of love of basketball. I hate him because he think he the GOAT and MJ the GOAT. So fuck him. I hate him because I didn't like when he went to Miami and he told me it was okay to hate him because he was the villain. You remember when KD did the Not Nice Now commercials? Went from signing his deal, re-ing up, saying, man, I ain't like these other guys, these Hollywood guys, re-ing up in OKC in the gym and then going back to shooting basketballs. And then all of a sudden he's sliding to motherfucking Silicon Valley. Not nice, KD. You feel what I'm saying? There are people who hate them because they are compared to people they like better. LeBron in this microcosm, I hate him because MJ the GOAT, fuck him. I hate him because when he went to Miami, I didn't like it. And he told me, fuck you, look at the house I go back to, look at the life you live, hate me if you want to. So he can't go back to being nice. I'll hate him forever because he told me to hate him. He is a villain now. He is Shredder. He don't get to go back to being a Ninja Turtle. But KD, I hate him because he think he better than LeBron and LeBron the goddamn GOAT. So he playing concurrently with this guy, but he getting the Jordan hate from LeBron fans like me. That's one of the reasons I hate him, just to be straightforward and honest. And I don't hate him. I just like, he's Shredder in my Ninja Turtle fucking NBA storyline. He is a villain. You know what I'm saying? Russell Westbrook actually looked like a turtle. Like, these young fucking juggernauts in OKC almost wrecked the party in Miami. So I've been like, damn, this nigga good, but fuck him. For years now, for a decade. You feel me? So I love his game, but he is a villain in the soap opera that is the NBA. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So I hate him.
And everybody's their own main character in their story. And so,
exactly. So he can't figure out how he the fucking bit player. He too fucking good to be a bit player. The Shredder getting attacked by teenage mutant ninja fucking turtles. And he just an old Asian motherfucker who trying to get his motherfucking plays off. He done built a whole clan of niggas. He got the whole city on lock. And they done tried to kill this nigga. They done dropped buildings on him and he can't be stopped. That's KD. He like, nigga, my whole fibula goddamn jiggled off on live national television. And had it not, I still would have rose up and banged one because I'm that nigga. How do y'all hate me? I'm the Shredder. Y'all don't see me with these cool ass shoulder pads because you know he got these fucking.
Yeah.
That's why I keep referencing him because he looked like he wearing them fucking one of them 90s suits with the fucking Whoopi Goldbergs.
So do you think that energy that can't be created or destroyed is now transferring to him? Like now is he with the person who's been the villain in the league for over a decade now, almost 18 years, that energy is starting to shit like over the past 3 or 4 seasons. Because once he made that decision, he was beloved until he made that decision to go out west and play with those other guys and then team up. And then it became, now it's not nice, KD. And now like that, so like you said, it can't be destroyed, it can't be created. Now it's going from one player to the other. And we've seen that happen now over the past 3 seasons or so.
Yeah, niggas act like they like Kobe. No, y'all hated Kobe. I remember when y'all.
I hated Kobe, but
he was 5 championships in, and the media and fans and social media in its inception and rising really berated this man to the point to where he came out and didn't shoot for like a whole fucking half. It's like, y'all don't want me to shoot. Watch how this shit look. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no. Here you go. Take that shit. You remember that game?
I don't.
You remember that shit?
I'm not a Kobe fan. Bruh. I didn't like Kobe until 2016 when I met my lady. My lady a Kobe fan. And she's like, but she gave me perspective about Kobe I never saw because he was the villain. He was the villain in my story because I was a Shaq fan. I was a Penny fan. And so when Shaq went to LA,
it's a couple things I don't understand in this world. And I hate to compare the two, but one is rest in peace, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to the Mamba. But I don't understand why everybody started to love him as the Mamba and the villain. When he switched to that persona post Colorado, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you get to be beloved as the villain in your second act after a court case? It confused me. Furthermore, everybody was mad at R. Kelly the second go round, like he had done something strange. When after the first go round, his comeback album, he called himself the Pied Piper of R&B. I don't know if you guys like limericks and fairy tales and stuff like that, but I'm obsessed with all that kind of shit in literature, like the German originals, what's it? Not Hammerstein. I'm about to talk about. I got a record where I be listening to Rodgers and Hammerstein. What's the fairy tale joints? Something in Grimm. It's something in Grimm. No, it's something in Grimm. The Brothers Grimm. I don't know. I'll figure it out for a future podcast. It'll be a Give Me Some Pages. But the point is, the Pied Piper. The story of the Pied Piper was, the whole city had rats. And the Pied Piper was a motherfucker who could take his little peepee, play a tune, and get anything to do whatever he wanted. So he came to the town and he agreed upon a deal with the township to get all of the rats out of the city. And he played his song and all of the rats flowed out of the city and he took them out of the township. When he came back to get his payment, they refused to pay him because the rats were gone. What was he going to do? Bring them back? So the Pied Piper used his music to take all of the children away from the city. He took their future from them. So after the initial sex tape, he came back as the Pied Piper of R&B. An individual who could get people and children to do whatever he wanted to with his music. Not what's wrong with R. Kelly. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? What the fuck is wrong with you? All you niggas that jumped on, like, here, get him on the remix while he hot. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Because niggas be hiding in plain motherfucking sight and y'all act crazy when the sun shine on them. He was standing. Age ain't nothing but a number. Came out in 97. Like, fuck all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck all the bullshit. But I don't want to get bogged down in that, man. You know what it is, man. They're episode 10, and just like the name say, P, would you do me the blessing to give me some headline, cuz?
I sure will, man.
Appreciate
Here we go. First set, show 10. Oh, man. So, first headline, angry neighbor shoots 6-year-old boy in the arm for getting his bike from the neighbor's yard.
Did you hear them 2 gunshots when you just said that? Tell me you heard that.
I ain't hear.
Yeah. We ain't in the basement studio in Colorado. We in the hood, you heard me? We in the hood right now. Y'all see it? We in the hood right now.
That first story is about revolt. The next one is by the Wall Street Journal. Forget going back to the office. People are just quitting instead. And then the last one is by National Geographic. When the bison come back, will the ecosystem follow?
I'm all about disrupting the corporate structure, man. Forget going back to the office. People are just quitting instead. I got to have it. And who is that story from, my brother?
Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal, great publication, man. I used to subscribe to them back when we was in college. I used to come to the SPO once a month.
Yeah.
Me and Trumpety Pompety used to sit down and discuss that motherfucker too. Shouts out to my brother. I was an econ major, so I needed somebody to talk to. And he was an English major, so he'll read anything.
Best major up there.
Dope ass professors, but unless you got to the 300 level and really got to where the econ professors like loved on you and invested in you, you missing out. I have
heard about the econ major though.
They some different human beings.
Yeah. I had one professor, man. I took economy and baseball, and that was a great class.
I was so happy.
He taught that single class major at Florida State. He took a 6-figure salary at Florida State to teach that one class three times a day. I did 3 times a day. So shout out to Bradbury.
Shout out to Bone, man. I was so happy when he double majored because he was math. He double majored with econ, so he started popping up everywhere, and he was a resource.
He tried to triple. You know
what the fuck was going on. Hey, it don't surprise me. It probably was a time issue. It definitely wasn't a capacity issue. That motherfucker was limitless.
I dropped that physics. I had to drop that physics, man.
And it was probably the labs. He was like, "Fuck that lab."
People used to hate because he didn't go like he retains information better than most people. He used to go to class.
I thank him to this day, bro. Yeah, when we took our comp, bro, the first day, the nigga showed up with 2 oranges. When we sat down to start the comp, niggas ripped their book open. Nigga was flipping through that bit. Nigga reading real quick. You see niggas sharpening pencils. Niggas had like pencil sharpeners in that bitch. This nigga peeled both oranges, flipped them holes open, separated them shits out, and started eating them whole, and then flipped their book open. Nigga, I said... And then I just started taking my time. That nigga got up and dipped. I was the second nigga out the building, bro. The next day, I had brought me some snacks. I brought me a little liquor in that bitch. I'm gonna start drinking when I get halfway through. So I already got my buzz going that way. When I hit this champagne, when I go out, cause you know niggas be celebrating when you come out of shit. And I was like, I don't want it to hit me then, so I'm already be floating. Like, it changed my whole energy, bro. And when I tell you, niggas who had been studying nonstop came out that bit with C's, C minuses, C pluses. I studied the week before that shit, bro, and that was it. Now, the whole point is, bro, and I hate to say this to my brethren, because I only notice about people I kicked it with and spent time with. I knew niggas who had graduated with econ majors. And I was like, if they had to take this test to get their degree, it ain't gonna be a problem for me. That's just how I felt. So I wasn't worried at any point. I stayed up there over spring break. The only spring break I ain't go on vacation in college to study.
Yeah. And
God bless him. My dog T. Redley left me with a blessing. And I ended up getting high every morning. And I worked and made like $300 a day because I was getting holiday pay because it was spring break. I sat at the BC and made like 12 hours a day, bro. I just sitting in that big getting like $20 out. It was stupid money. Yes, I ain't study shit. I watched The Office. I went over across the street to the library and kept checking out the new season of The Office after I finished it. That's what I did spring break. I came out that bit with a B+, bro. When I tell you Neckbone was so motherfucking mad when he looked at my test because I wouldn't show nobody my score because I know how people are. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, man, that nigga must have failed. He gonna have to retake that bit. And I slid that nigga my shit under the table. He let me get this shit the fuck out of here. He started flipping through that shit. I was like, hey man, you ain't got to do all that. You can keep it if you need it. Take your time. You feel me? But Bone Energy calmed my whole shit down. Cause I was like, one thing he used to always say when we were studying and shit was, either you know it or you don't.
Either you know it or you don't. That's it.
And when we were sitting in there studying, he was like, nothing is difficult.
Know it or you don't.
He was like, nothing is ever difficult. You either know the shit or you don't. So don't be upset if you don't know the shit right now. Learn the shit. And I sat down, I said, look, man, whatever these little questions is, nigga, either I know them or I don't. And if I don't, I'm finna sell them some game. I'm not gonna panic and do the worst version of not knowing it. Bro, one of the questions on the comp, I dead ass did not answer the motherfucking question. I talked about something I did want to talk about. The question they asked about a specific model, and I knew what graph and everything they wanted me to draw. I talked about how that shit didn't work in the market of today, and then put that shit in terms of something I did know how to draw, and I drew that. And in the notes, they said, this is what we were asking for. We were asking for this right here, but this was a perfect drawing. I was like, I know, because I chose something I knew how to draw. I chose a market I knew how to manipulate to discuss. That other shit, I knew how to discuss it, but I couldn't draw the graph to go along with it. And then manipulate it to show the shifts of it. Because it was a supply chain that was a third-party vertical integration effect. It was some crazy shit. You did. But I'm sorry to derail you like that. But shouts out.
Not to cut you off. No, not to cut you off. The same shit happened. Because, I went, after I left, I got my English undergrad. And then I went and got an MBA. And so I had to take some prerequisite classes in econ and all that shit because everything I'm doing now is business. I did that shit, and I was in this managerial econ class, and there was a young lady who knew that the professor was a huge. He went to Florida. He went to the University of Florida. That's where he got his undergrad, his master's econ degrees, and she didn't know the question he asked on the test, but she did the same thing you did. She said instead of her taking something that she knew about, she took something she knew about and related it to the teacher. And so she took a graph and she explained why Florida was one of the best schools in the SEC, bro. And he gave her full credit for that shit. And it had nothing to do with the question. And he was like, sometimes in your job, you're not going to know the answer. He's like, that's what I'm preparing you for, is for the working world. In your job, sometimes you're not going to know the answer. So you had to come up with something creative. What this young lady did was, and he explained it to the whole class, like this is what I asked. Everybody saw this question on there. He was like, 50% of y'all got it wrong. But when she got it all right, I gave her all the credit. And then on the next test, somebody tried to do the same thing. And he was like, all you do is copy what she did. I know that now. Like, no. They got a 0 on that question. He was like, she was original. She came with something very original, something that was relevant to the question. All you did was talk about Florida football. Nah, he got that cat a 0.
Came in here with that Giannis Euro step bitch travel. Get that shit.
But yeah, man. So kids, man, if you out there, test the boundaries of education. You won't know every single thing. If you don't, you either know it or you don't. And if you don't know it, tell them about something that you do know. Test the boundaries of education. Just because you don't know that don't mean you don't know something else that's relevant or something else that is another solution to the problem that is being presented in front of you.
And I don't mean to be a dick, but if you ain't never been in honors or AP classes, just know it's teachers who teach them classes and teach you the same subject who do not educate them students the same way. Your command over your education is much more comprehensive than they ever tell you. It's something you have to take ownership of.
Yep.
Because you're not in there to be given a goddamn thing, even though they test your ability to regurgitate information and different concepts they feed you. What you take from them years, you have to be there. And if you go to college, the years you choose to be there, that's yours to command. You have a comprehensive grasp over your actual education. What you are tested on, the information you are given, that's not your motherfucking education. Them your grades. You are responsible and in charge of your education. Day one.
100%, man.
Day one to the finish line. Because it shouldn't be a finish line. I ain't done being educated right now. I got how-tos and all you need to know is line in my bookcase. And 3 different 100 books you need to read before you die list. Only like 5 to 10 crossover books. I got some work to do, nigga. Here you talk about. But yeah, man, give me some motherfucking headlines, Pete.
Yes, sir, man. Forget going back to the office. People are just quitting instead. This is an article by the Wall Street Journal. As the pandemic clouds lift, the percentage of Americans leaving employers for new opportunities is at its highest level in more than 2 decades. More U.S. workers are quitting their jobs than at any time in the last in at least 2 decades, signaling optimism among many professionals while also adding to the struggle companies face trying to keep up with the economic recovery. The wave of resignations marks a sharp turn from the darkest days of the pandemic, when workers crave job security while weathering a national health and economic crisis. In April, the share of U.S. workers leaving jobs was 2.7%, according to the Labor Department, a jump from 1.6% a year earlier to the highest level since at least 2000. The shift by workers into new jobs and careers is prompting employers to raise wages and offer promotions to keep hold of talent. The appetite for change by employees indicates many professionals are feeling confident about jumping ship for better prospects despite elevated unemployment rates. Man. And I will make sure that I link this article from the Wall Street Journal in the show notes.
I got a business proposition for you, too. Don't let me forget that. After the show, I got a business proposition for you.
Yes, sir. And also, quick show plug, man. You can now find us on Pandora. We got that approval today for show 10.
They let us out the box.
And we also on Amazon Music.
That's a big.
We are on Audible. We are on Spotify. Shout out to Spotify. Yeah, we on Audible.
OG. We on Audible and motherfucking. What's that other one? We on Pandora. We on Spotify.
Yep. We
what
on
else?
Deezer. We are on. I gotta put all that shit to show notes too, because it's we on like we almost. Yeah, we got hella distribution, man. So we trying to
figure out how to condense the videos, and we gonna put all of them on YouTube. I'm sorry, that's my fault. They in 4K when we drop them, and then they get dummied down, and we trying to figure out how to do it without losing resolution totally. So we apologize, but we got y'all.
Yeah, man. It's all of this is coming, man. We appreciate y'all growing with us as we grow ourselves, and yeah, we might be hiring people soon. So and our pay rates will not be like them suckers out there who try to lowball y'all. Nah, y'all out there looking for other jobs, and them bitches. Y'all
gonna find them.
Trying to raise the price now and give y'all promotions. Shit y'all deserve before y'all even decided, hey, I'm going elsewhere. Fuck them niggas. Yeah, I said it. Fuck them niggas. Shout out to Crit. But man, yeah, bro, how you feel about that, man? That the people saying fuck this shit, I ain't going back to the office. I quit.
Speaking in terms of economics, since we harped on that, let me act like I actually studied it and give the people a little bit of perspective, hopefully, that I garnered over my time studying that and reading the Wall Street Journal over this time. I think from an economic standpoint, This is both a market correction and the residual effects of people experiencing something in a linear fashion that they never have in their lifetime. For the pandemic to have forced a lot of people home, they had eradicated control over their perception of work-life balance. You throw in the element of potential loss of life with the fear of dying from the pandemic. You see what I'm saying? So your perspective on what's important changes, and how much you value your time changes. And it's a very simple equation when you talk about how much a person is willing to work. You got work, W, you got leisure, L. I don't know if you guys have ever done the math, and I'm sorry for the working public. I'm about to do something very vicious to you, and I apologize in advance. Know that we here at Gimme Some Headlines love you deeply, but I'm about to do something very vicious to you, so take a deep breath. If you drive, and turn the volume down a little bit. If you're on the treadmill, make sure you at a pace where you're not going to trip up, because I'm finna fuck you up. There are 24 hours in a day. If you get the proper amount of sleep, you are sleeping for 8 hours a day. That is a third of your life gone. So you have 2/3 left. You have 16 hours. If you work a 9-to-5 job and you are working 8 hours with an hour lunch break, that is 9 hours gone. If you commute to and from work, let's say you are blessed to have a 30-minute commute. That is an hour to and from. That is 12 hours. You see what I'm saying? Hold on, I just doubled up. I just fucked up. I went from 9 to 12. So that's 10.
Good.
So that's 10 hours. To get ready for work, you got to shit, shave, and shower. If you a dude, if you a woman, you got to shit, shower, makeup, and hair and shit. I don't know, not shitting twice, hair and stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So let's say that's another hour gone. So that's 11 hours. That's how I was trying to get to 11. So you have 5 hours to do the other meals of the day, to spend time with your loved ones, all of that stuff. Let's put it in perspective. You are asleep for a third of your life, and you have less than a fourth of your life to do all the other shit if you work 8 hours a day. Six hours is a fourth of the day. So with the pandemic, people were gifted all 24 hours of the day. Some got unemployment, some got grants, some got loans and started their own small businesses. Because the government were giving the loans out on a mass scale, some people actually had the consciousness to say, if you can get 10 and you could get 10 and you could get 10, if we 5 put this together, we might be able to put some brick and mortar together and do this, this, and this. We all have this knowledge. Why go back and work for that company when we could do it for ourselves? No overhead. We know exactly how much we charging, and we know how much they paying us. We could just keep what we make. You see what I'm saying? So people know their value.
Yeah.
When you look at work over leisure equals time, like how the time is allocated, work, the value of it has been flipped on its head because the value of the leisure has been amplified through force. What was supposed to be depressing took people love of their leisure and amplify the value of their time. Because if you work an hourly job, and kind of if you work salary as well, if you are not on commission, if you are not working a sales position or something that's commission based for what you produce, you are selling your time in exchange for money.
Yeah.
What your job duties are is irrelevant. You are a business that sells time. So if you stay after work and do shit for free, you are being robbed. If they coerce you to, if they force you to, if they pressure you to, or make it seem like you'll lose your position if you don't, they are robbing you because you sell your time. You don't owe that company a goddamn thing they don't pay you for. All this company loyalty, all this bullshit that they try to sell you benefits them and not you. You convince yourself whatever the fuck you want to. You feel what I'm saying, bro? So that's what I believe you're seeing a reflection of people valuing their time, because that 5 hours a day went to 13. People who were commuting to work got that shit shave and shower back because they came in stinky because they didn't shower. They said, fuck it, ain't nobody gonna be able to smell me on this Zoom.
On this Zoom call.
You feel what I'm saying? I'm wearing the hoodie. I ain't got to get dressed.
I saved 15 minutes. I ain't have to iron them pants.
My boss look crazy. My boss look crazy. I'm not putting on makeup. They were gifted back 3, 5, 11 hours, people who were unemployed. I know that sounds crazy to say gifted back, but unemployed people who got unemployment and were making similar to what they lost were gifted 11 hours a day. People who worked from home were gifted 3 to 4 hours a day, depending on their commute and their prep as far as shit, shave, and shower.
Yeah.
And makeup. You feel what I'm saying? So when you say come back to the office, you're saying give me them 4 hours. And I ain't paying you for them 4. They are part of how you get here. Because they ain't compensated hours, but people have been using them motherfuckers for a year. They've been chilling with their babies before they go to school, doing homework and shit. Sitting in the carpool lane like, this shit ain't bad when I'm not in a rush. This shit ain't bad when I'm not in a rush. When I can log into Zoom from my phone and be in the meeting on time, go to Starbucks and then get home, and I ain't missed nothing. I done got my emails from my phone, which I would have did at work anyway instead of using the computer. They're like, it ain't no reason for me to be in this goddamn office.
Can I give you a quick comment or something I saw?
Go for it. My bad, bro. I was just on one.
No, you good. You good.
Yeah.
I've been teaching. This is something that me and this other gentleman we saw. We were at Knoll Middle School, northeast side of Houston, Texas. We saw parents. Me and the homie, we got there. Most of the schools, most teachers are women. We got there, bruh. We took over like the car line in the mornings. When they opened the car line in the mornings, me and the homie, we out there, we put the signs up, we ushering the cars through. You know how we had so many cars. School don't open up until 8 o'clock. Like that's when the doors of the school open and kids can walk in. It's a line of about maybe 40 kids out front who parents drop them off and keep going. But it's other line. It's this other line of cars, man, still in the car line, and luckily, like it's 3 lanes wide, so the middle lane folks can leave if they dropping their child off and going. But we realizing like it's this line of cars that's just backing up, and we like, what the hell is going on? It's parents who don't have to go to work at 9 o'clock. They just got to get back to a Zoom meeting. And they sitting in the car with their children until the motherfucking doors of the school are open. They sitting there having breakfast with each other in the car. They sitting there listening to music. It's kids I'm seeing getting out of cars, kissing, hugging their parents, happy and full. They telling them, oh, look, you forgot your umbrella. It may rain today. Come back and get it. Come back and give me my sugar. It's parents sitting there. They getting there at 7:30 and just sitting there with their child until we open them doors and say, y'all can come through these motherfuckers. Bro, that shit was so beautiful, man. And now, man, I'm going to make a lot of money in this world. And if I can contribute to families being able to do that, like in certain places in the world, bro, at lunchtime, everybody go home. The kids at the school go home. The parents at work go home. They eat for an hour together. It's a 2-hour lunch. They give you 30 minutes to get home. You get an hour together. They give you 30 minutes to get back to work and school. And when in a country where you value the family structure that way, people are so much more productive. And like, I don't mind giving you my time because you gave me my time to go spend with the people that I am here working for. So when you give me that back, I don't mind it. When you trying to take that shit from me, and then you trying to just, oh man, nah, we're gonna raise your. Y'all trying to give people what they were worth in the beginning. Like that $15 an hour, it equates to like 31,500 or something like that before taxes. That's not a terrible amount of money. Like you're not hurting if you give people that, and that's not. It's not like that is a working wage, barely. And in most places, it's not. You can't go live in California off that wage. And so for people to say, like, you know what, man, I'm just going, this is what I'm going to do. Like, this is what I figured out during this pandemic. I feel healthier this way. Like, my lady got an opportunity, man, where she may be able to work from home after I seen these people rob her for a fucking time. Like, we was a month into the pandemic, a month in. That's all they got off when she was at home, where they said no. As soon as they opened up doors and said you allowed to, she was at home for 30 days. I can't wait until, like, me and my dog are artists, and I'm busting my ass to make sure the shit that we creating is gonna create space for her to say fuck all that shit. And she got a space, and she gonna have a space to be able to work from home, man. Fuck all that shit. And so I'm risking life and limb to make sure that that's what we can be within the next calendar year. We won't see another Juneteenth when my lady working a motherfucking job. That's on God.
Facts.
That's on God.
Speaking of living into existence. Juneteenth. I love you, bro, and I always enjoy when you cut me off. So I love that segment, and I love that. I can't wait to edit that, man. I can't wait to choose the song for it. I fucks with it, but I can't let the people go, because for my people who are melanated, it's the last little bomb I got to drop on y'all, because the way of life we live has not been architected or structured or built by us. And you need to understand that them 5 hours that they give you motherfuckers as people of the sun, as people whose melanin is enriched by the sun, like everything, well, like most things on the planet, you are like a seed and you need that sun just like you need water. That 5 hours they give you is the time when the sun ain't out. And they adjust the shit twice a year to make sure that the time you get off is right before sunrise and right after sunset. Ain't that a bitch? 7 to 8, you getting ready for work. 8 to 9, you commuting to work. Sun rising, looking beautiful. You in your car trying not to hit other cars, focused on traffic. 5 to 6, you commuting home, and you get that little dusk and you get sunset. And then you get a few twilight hours before you're supposed to go your ass to sleep and go give the sun to that job again. They have taken the sun from melanated people, and it's disgusting. I had to say it. They taking the sun from everybody, but that's some bullshit. It protects some people, this way of life. It literally fucks your health up for other people. That Play 60 shit that they pitch for kids, that exists for a reason, and it ain't just the exercise. Them kids supposed to be outside for that hour a day, and so the fuck are you. Go out there and get your sun in whatever way you got to. I don't give a fuck if you got to eat your lunch outside. Melanated people, any type of people, get your motherfucking sun at least an hour a day. And if you weird enough, research grounding and do that shit for at least 15 minutes a day. I swear by that shit.
I grounded the other day, bro.
You grounded?
It's been a while. I grounded the other day.
Tell me about it.
Bro, I was walking back and forth outside because I knew I had a bunch of errands and shit because we moving. And I was taking stuff in and out of the house and And so I was just using the front door. I was dropping stuff off in the recycling bin, trash bin, all of that shit. And I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna do this with my damn shoes and socks off, man. And so I just was walking through the grass, let the dog outside, run in the front yard. We just walked around in the front yard, bro, for it was about 12, 15 minutes. We just walked around the front yard and walk to the backyard because I gotta cut it again before we get up out of here. But yeah, man, and it felt good like to hear grass, like, but we in Houston and it's hot as hell, so the grass below our feet is usually crunchy unless we just come off of rain or something like that. But to hear that, you know, to hear it and feel it at the same time, it feels very human. You know what I mean? Like, it's for it to be under a shoe, you don't get the same feeling as it is when you feel them blades up under your feet, man. So I really, and I usually go outside, man, and me and the lady moving to a place where we got our own yard, man. I plan on getting outside gardening, get my hands and knees in the dirt, man, and building something and pulling things from the earth, putting things back in the earth, man, and doing a whole lot more grounding where we can manipulate the ground that's around us because we own it. And I put air quotes around owning because we don't own none of this shit, man. We give all of this thing back at some point or another, bruh. We renting it, but it's contractually ours in the law of the land once we pay for it. But yeah.
Can I ask you about something else too, bro?
Go ahead.
As I encourage people to jump out there in the sun, man, I definitely want to make sure that we encourage people to be protected in anything that we talk to them about and get them to do, bro. You got any thoughts or anything you want to talk to the people about as far as?
Absolutely, man. I was glad when you went and transitioned into this segue about the sun, man. But I wanted to chop it up with y'all a little bit about sunscreen. There is a known carcinogen in 78 of the 300 known products of sunscreen. And for my math majors out there, that's 27%. More than 1 out of every 4 has a known carcinogen in it, known to cause skin cancer. And I'm gonna grab that for you real quick. I think the name of that chemical is called benzene. And so it's sold in.
Hold up, not to cut you off.
CVS.
Not to cut you off.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna need for that to have 5 more syllables if you gonna say that in the tone of voice you said it. That shit need to be benzyoclamine or some shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Say benzene.
That nigga said, I think that chemical that y'all need to worry about, this dangerous, this ominous death chemical is, let me get my glasses. Benzene? Get your ass on it. You might want to say chlorine, nigga. It's chlorine in it. Nah. Man. Go ahead, though. My bad, bro. I had to cut you off, though. That shit was funny.
So it's a carcinogen found in some popular sunscreens after some products. Neutrogena did the testing. It's not found in Neutrogena products, but it's found in Banana Boat products, CVS, according to Valisure. And the FDA is taking this serious. Any safety concerns raised about products they regulate, including sunscreen. The FDA told CBS News that in a statement, the FDA takes seriously any safety concerns raised about products we regulate, including sunscreen. And we won't even get into the FDA approving and regulating the shit that gives people cancer because we got other shit that's in people's bodies right now they're getting for free that they don't pay $6.99 for. But yeah, man, y'all gonna spend that time in the sun, make sure you protect yourself because the UV rays from the sun can be ultraviolet.
He didn't say ultraviolet. He said ultraviolet. Like Mike Tyson in his 20s.
But spend your time in it. Protect yourself while you're out there in it. And protect yourself by researching the products that you put on your body to step out there in that sun, man. As we get deeper into the summer months and it gets hotter, especially for the folks who are in the hotter climates, since we're available on Spotify, since we're available on Pandora, since we're available on Apple. Apple ain't gave us our okay yet. Amazon
we outside.
Music, available on Audible. We outside. And so this show is reaching folks down there where it's real hot at. South America, Central America, Africa, all the places where it's hot, all the places where it's the melanated folks at. We reaching a whole lot of ears. Florida. Whole other country. The third, everywhere. New York City. Wherever it's hot at, wherever the sun be at, it ain't in London, because we know it's gray over there all the time. Y'all see the sun 4 times a year.
There will be a conspiracy brother on this later, but read all them ingredients that's on that sunscreen. Read all them ingredients. We ain't got to talk about it, but read all them ingredients that's in your sunscreen. All of them.
Anything you put on or in your body, read all the ingredients.
And just to educate you all about something, when you're looking at your food or anything, when you read a product, the FDA, the way it has to be structured is it is arranged by percentage contained within. You understand me? So, for example, your alcohol, if you have alcohol that is 40 proof, what they're telling you is it is 20% by volume, all ethyl alcohol. It is the same alcohol in any alcohol that makes it get you drunk or increases the stupefaction process. You know what I'm saying? It's how you process it that creates the ethyl alcohol and has the different flavors and da-da-da-da-da. But anyway, so when you look at the back of something and you read the chemicals through it, the thing that is all the way to the left at the top of the list, that is what is mostly made up of. And it goes down the list. You understand me? So when you look at the back of real vanilla and you look at the ingredients, it'll say vanilla. When you look at the back of generic vanilla that you find in the dollar store and shit like that, I'm not even going to tell you the chemical, but get antifreeze and read what the biggest or most in the content of a bottle of antifreeze is, and I promise you it will be the same ingredient that you see that makes up most of the content in cheap generic vanilla. I don't give a fuck if it costs $10 and the cheap one is $1. Go buy the one where the only ingredient is vanilla. So look at the back of your sunscreen and make sure it don't have, what's that crazy chemical again, P?
Benzene.
Okay, benzoylamine. Now I'm playing. Benzene. Make sure it don't have benzene in it. But also read all of them chemicals that's in there. And you might be surprised at what is made up of mostly. And then ask yourself how they got that shit.
Yeah. It's business, man. I was gonna take this thing in a different direction, man, but I like the way this show is going, and I don't want to bring no negativity to it, man. So I would like.
Nah, bro, do that shit. You a
nah, man. I don't want to bring us down.
It's a Spike P joint, and when P say go, I ain't gonna argue no more. Let's get it.
What's your favorite board game, man?
I'm sorry I didn't give it to you in advance.
I know.
I'm about to fuck your world up because you don't know what it is, y'all. Hey, y'all, this Just to
Hold up,
introduce y'all.
no, you don't get to introduce this one because now you fucked that up. So we have show meetings
my favorite board
before
game.
we come talk to y'all.
Oh,
We come talk to the people on Monday night. We have show meetings, man.
See
and
behind
in
the
show
curtain.
meeting, we talk about everything we gonna talk about, not in detail, but he know what I'm gonna come in here talking about. And so when we set up this episode, we had a conversation yesterday, and we was like, we gonna have a debate, and we gonna debate this thing. And he was like, well, what's your thing? And then I told him what my thing was, my side was. He's like, all right, I'm gonna think of mine, and by the end of the show, you gonna know what mine is.
By the end of the meeting.
The whole show meeting, that was a 3-hour show meeting, y'all. 3-hour show meeting we had yesterday for the people. We did that for the people. We had a 3-hour show meeting. I talked for a long time, and so did my co-host, player partner, talk for a long time. And that 3 hours, guess what he did not say? The name of his favorite board game. And I got to go into this thing blind when he got all the ammo about my shit.
Bust his fucking head open too. He ass naked, y'all.
Ass naked out here.
The best part is we debating. He asking me what's my favorite. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't get to introduce shit. I'm going to answer your question. And I'm going to tell you about it to make things a little bit fairer.
All right, man. We got you. This is a Mass Debaters Give Me Some Headlines version of debate shows or debating called Mass Debaters. This week's version, Give Me Some Headlines, Mass Debaters, is what's your favorite board game? Why? Prove why it's the best board game. Say your piece, cuz.
Well, I'm going to just do an introduction of my game because Frederick, as well as a lot of people, may not be familiar with mine. And I was led to believe that what we were debating is what is the best board game, not what is your favorite.
True. What is the best board game?
Hold on. I got the mic, nigga. I am here to debate. I'm just fucking with you. I don't mind if you interrupt me because I'll be mangling you, and I apologize and love you. But I am here to tell you that the best board game out there is one you may have never heard of. One I was introduced by a lovely group of people. We'll call the ASAP Fergies. And it's something.
Hold that thought. Webster's has a definition for a board game, and those are the parameters. And I want to share what the definition is.
Go ahead.
All right. And so that game that you just mentioned does fit in the parameters. So definition.
You didn't hear the game.
You showed it to me on the paper.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I can read. I read books.
This is audio medium too. They ain't seen it.
Webster's definition is a game played by placing or moving pieces on a board. That is the Merriam-Webster's definition of a board game. And so my dog was telling y'all about this board game that was introduced to him by a group of beautiful people.
Amazing people. Love them to death. Love them to life. But yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Words mean things. We love them to life.
Thanks. A well-known sentence or phrase, especially one that is associated with a particular famous person, otherwise known as a catchphrase. This is the best board game on the planet. And if you've never played it, Catchphrase is a British game show based on the short... Wait a minute, what the fuck? All right, I pulled up the wrong thing. So anyway, Catchphrase is a very simple game. It comes with a unit that is your board of play, and it has a dial that reads different words. And catchphrase is essentially a mix of taboo, hot potato, battle of the sexes, and any trivia game you've ever heard of in the world. The way it works is you have either 5 to 11 categories that you choose from. It'll be sports, news, television, politics, whatever. And you choose the category and then you start. And it starts to beat. And the word pop up. And you split into teams and you arrange yourself in a circle. You played this before?
I think I played catchphrase in the past. It may have been like once or twice. I don't think I'm not.
You arrange yourself in a circle. And the way we always played at Thanksgiving and Christmas and shit is we play men versus women. So you got to understand, husband sitting here, wife on the other side of the circle. And the way the game work is whoever has the game board in their hand is your team's turn. And you can describe what you see in whatever way you can, but you can't say the words you see. That's how it's like taboo. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But it's like hot potato because if the game goes off with it in your hand, your team loses and the other team gets a point. The reason why this is the best game in the world is because there's a version where you can program what's in it. So you can make it a never have I ever themed catchphrase. You know what I'm saying? So you looking at toss a salad and you be like, Janae Aiko. Shawty said he got to do this like groceries. Eat the booty? No, what did they call it in prison though? You feel that? And like, but anyway. The whole point of the game is to get the clue, but also make sure you handing it to the other team in enough time to where they can't get the next clue. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like everybody on the team is yelling at this one person, and there's so many different ways you could play. You could play this shit to where every time you lose a point, you got to take a shot. We done played this shit in the party environment in college, where every time you lost, your team had to take off an article of clothing. We done played strip catchphrase. You hear me, my nigga? Battle of the sexes, strip catchphrase at the Gamma House. Choose for the team. Whoever fucked up, whoever got the hot potato, like, and it be so fire, bro. Like niggas be pouring up shots, passing the bottle around while we playing. Like the game will be over here, the bottle will be over here, and niggas will be filling up the shots and just passing the bottle. So everybody got a shot. Wait, then they go off. Be like, ladies, drink. Blah. You feel what I'm saying? Or it'd be like, choose. She be like, fuck this shit. She take her bra off. Blah. She be like, fuck it. She hit the shot. She fully clothed, drunk and fuck. It's your choice. You can also step back and stop playing. You feel what I'm saying? Ain't nobody forcing nobody to do shit here. And if you step back, one dude will step back and kick it and make sure you straight and make sure you safe. You feel me? Buddy system. We make sure we good around here. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all go play bumper pool or some shit. But catchphrase live is fuck because it can turn into anything. And because it's 2021, they got versions you could program and shit. And you could turn this shit into anything. Because, excuse me, if you don't have bread to go get it or you ain't went to somewhere that had the game, you could just write a bunch of names on a sheet of paper and toss them motherfuckers in a hat and play catchphrase with a hat. You feel what I'm saying? And somebody in the group on their iPhone choose a random timer and they set their timer. It could be 37 seconds, 47 seconds, 53 seconds, but they set it and put it face down and then y'all fucking play. and it'll be the person next to the person holding the thing or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all kind of ways you could renege it and play it if you can't actually play the game. So it's the greatest board game of all time because you could play it in a party setting. And I don't know too many board games where you could play that shit at a party and it turn the fucking party up. If it's dry, it'll get the shit lit to where somebody like, man, fuck this shit, man. Put some music on. The game get cut off by freak dancing. You feel what I'm saying? So catchphrase the shit for a lot of reasons because it was given to me as a kid in holiday environments, and I only played it with them in the holidays. So every Thanksgiving and Christmas, I go play with the ASAP Fergies. And shouts out to New York, man, and shouts out to families that welcome in people who don't have healthy environments to go do shit like that in. But yeah, we would play it, man, and I was so good at this shit that like grown people would cuss me out. Like, this motherfucker peeking. Like, they would break all kid grown up barriers. Like, I'm 12 years old, get cussed out by Auntie Donna and shit. Like, this motherfucker with the smart mouth think he's smart for real. Tell him to shut the hell up. Vinny, this your friend, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, they light me up and I'm like, yeah, I'm just guessing. Like, hey, what am I doing? You know what I mean? I'm just guessing. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you spend too much time with them. We don't see each other except for now. You spend way too much time over here. And then like they feel like, nah, don't be mad because the guys got this wavelength. Maybe y'all should talk more. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are there having it out. You hear me? And then all of a sudden, my dude come through with the motherfucking dinner. I'm talking about, you ever had chicken pot pie with biscuits as the crust?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Bro, I connect
that
to catchphrase.
Alabama. Chili and biscuits.
I connect that to catchphrase too. So catchphrase also come with chicken pot pie with biscuits as the crust. So if you ain't had that yet, have that before you argue with me about whether or not catchphrase the GOAT game of all time. But that's my spiel, man. I tried to keep it to less than 10 minutes. I went over by about 3, man. So you got 13 minutes, man. What's first of all, are you sure you've played it now that you've heard the full rundown? And what are your thoughts before you tell me can I get a counter argument to why this would make it the GOAT? The different plot points that I said that made it the GOAT. Its versatility, its uniqueness, it being like a bunch of other board games rolled into one. It mixing in the suspense of hot potato. You're holding a and you're trying to explain. You know what I'm talking about? The motherfucker with the glasses got a lightning bolt on his face. You know what I'm talking about? You smoke this, and a nigga who ain't shaved. Come on. You said a nigga who ain't shaved, bro? Yeah, man, and you smoke it, Harry Potter. Why the fuck you ain't say wizard, bro? Like, the conversations is as good as the game is. You feel what I'm saying? Why the fuck you ain't say wizard? You know what I'm saying? Like, say something that have to do. Like, man, I don't watch that shit, bro. Excuse me if I was getting pussy in middle school, kid. Like,
Man, niggas run around reading 700-page books, nigga. I was getting coochie in high school.
What you talking about? You was talking about accelerated reader points. I was accelerating reading these bitches, cuz.
And these bitches accelerating reading me. Shit. Best accent in the country, man, is, I think you said this shit, man. You can't wait to have a nigga who talk like he from California, but he from the country.
Oh yeah. Yeah, G.
But I fuck with I feel like this your little game got potential to be the second greatest game in the world. Board game in the world.
Make your case before we do the rebuttals then. Let's stay positive to start. Don't run a negative campaign. Bless us. What's your favorite game? I'm gonna say favorite because you asked me what's the best game, and then I told you what the best game of all time was. So what's your favorite game? You know what I'm saying? Your little favorite game.
My favorite game is my favorite game because it's the best game. Everything that I do is the best. Everything that I like is the best. People I align myself with are the best.
Making a strong case so far.
My favorite board game is the best. Shout out to the one, the only. For over 100 years, this game been running the game. Monopoly. And for those of you who don't know Monopoly, for the young, for the old, for the folks who in between, for the folks who don't identify with anybody, Monopoly is a property trading board game. It's where players roll 2 6-sided dice to move around the game board, buying and trading properties and developing them with houses and hotels. Players collect rent from their opponents with the goal being to drive them into bankruptcy. Money can also be gained or lost through chance and community chess cards and tax squares. Players can end up in jail, from which they cannot move until they have met one of several conditions. The game has numerous house rules, hundreds of different editions exist, as well as many spin-offs and related media. Monopoly has become a part of international popular culture, having been licensed locally in more than 103 countries and printed in more than 37 languages. Now, when you're talking about reaching across the masses with a game, Monopoly is the best game in the world. Then I'll give you the exact reason on the end of some other reasons. I spent 2015, the new year, going from 2014 into 2015, took a flight out to one of my favorite cities in the country. That city is Aspen, Colorado. Had a layover in Denver, got stuck by snow, had to wait in Denver for a few hours. We drove, got to Aspen, man. And the first thing people wanted to do was drink. And one of the homies pulled out Monopoly. And we played Monopoly. And of all things we could have done in Aspen, Colorado, we played Monopoly for the next 12 hours while getting schwammered. It was, folks, and I'll get on the back end. I told you I was going to tell you the reason why it's the best game there is because it teaches you about human character and what people are willing to do to get their way and feel like they winning. By the end of that game, bro, folks had literally pulled out money from their own pocket they brought to spend on this trip to negotiate, to get properties, to get boardwalk. People had actually created monopoly marriages. A bitch was about to go bankrupt and propose to another bitch at the game and said, "You got some shit. I'm about to come back in this game. And we can do this shit together with our two pieces. This is a community, our two pieces, and everything we get together, we're gonna take down everybody." And so everybody's like, "Whoa, shit, you can do that?" And then Monopoly teaches you about human character and what people are willing to do to get to the top and what they are willing to do to others so they can get there. And if you played that game, you know Monopoly can split up families, man. all the different rules and regulations on this game, man, it can divide your family. But it's a beautiful thing, man, because it's a game that transcends a game. You can leave them pieces on the board. Like, motherfuckers get tired. Like, I'm going to sleep, man. I ain't playing this shit no more. Oh, no, bitch, you playing. When we get up tomorrow, nigga, this is the first thing we picking the fuck up. Don't nobody touch this shit. Take a picture of the board, how it is right now. Count your money out. We write that shit on a piece of notebook paper. We know how much money you got. We know your properties, all this shit. We finishing this game. I know games of Monopoly that lasted for weeks. And there's probably games out there that's still going on right now. One nigga hanging on to his last goddamn dollar. Still kicking in the game, waiting for a motherfucker to land on goddamn waterworks so he can collect that $48. Keep kicking. So the greatest board game in the world. They put a little white dude with a monocle on the front of that bitch, but it was like everything else in this goddamn culture. It was made by a black man, I'm sure of it. Y'all thought Jack Daniels was made by a white man until they came and told you the greatest whiskey on the planet was made by a brother. So don't try to play us. Monopoly, greatest board game there is. It never will be until we come up with it with the rival for GSH board game coming out 2025. Maybe come out before then. May come out after then too. We got a lot of shit to do. Your rebuttal. How you feel about Monopoly?
I mean, I just painted you the picture of a game that started out as holidays and celebration and morphed into strip catchphrase and naked bitches. And my man's over here just told you the GOAT board game is one that could last 3 weeks and niggas could force you to finish when you in Aspen, Colorado, where marijuana is legal. Snowfall for like 8 months out of the year. You got hikes with elevation changes of 800-900 feet in 15 minutes. Just fucking beautiful. Like, if you playing catchphrase in Colorado, it probably lead to naked hot tubbing. If you playing Monopoly in Aspen, Colorado, P just told you how it go. So this mass debater, so I'm shitting on Monopoly. You asking me how I feel about it. I think about the stress of being down to $200 and trying to roll a 12 because I don't own shit from go to past jail. And every other turn, I'm just chilling. And as a kid, eating stuff in my face with delicious chicken pot pie made with biscuit crust. And then when it's my turn, I'm screaming actors, Tom Cruise, because all this nigga said was, show me. And he didn't even get the money out his mouth before I screamed, Tom Cruise. And the nigga said, why not Cuba Gooding Jr.? Because he yelling the shit that he yelled at Tom Cruise. And then she say, no. This motherfucker seen it. Like, that's live, ain't it? I mean, Monopoly, if you not the nigga who getting rent, you don't even give a fuck. Depending on where your property is, you don't even give a fuck depending on where the pieces is. But that catchphrase, every other turn, you either highly entertained by their lack of ability to get it or fully engaged because you trying to guess it. Your team could be humming and get stuck on one, and you could have not guessed any right the whole round, but if the buzzer go off, everybody in the group will look at you like, nigga, is you gonna say anything, even though we all paying attention. You could have just got back from the kitchen with a plate. We like, nigga. And you like, nigga, when I said mine, we guessed it. But is you gonna help though? Damn. You know what I'm saying? If you not clickety clacking or you not collecting money, and plus ain't no banker and catchphrase. You feel me? Can't no nigga steal money and cheat at catchphrase. You feel me? Every now and again, you got the chick who show up with 3 bras on, 10 t-shirts, 3 headbands, and they count them as each piece of an article of clothing. But I told you, most people's actions say more about them than they do about you. If you uncomfortable and you don't want to be naked, boo, tell us you don't want to play strip catchphrase. And we'll just play catchphrase and drink. If you don't want to drink, tell us you just want to play catchphrase. We'll play catchphrase and drink. You don't drink. When we take shots, you just go, Nostrovia, yell some shit. I don't know. You feel me? Spin in a circle. Do something. Then make the party fun for you. Read a Bible verse, whatever gets you high. You feel me? But Monopoly, it's a very myopic game. You out for self. And catchphrase is a team board game. So I'm shitting on Monopoly. Don't be asking me how I feel about it. I ain't got no positives for your shit. How you feel about catchphrase? Tell me why Monopoly better than the GOAT. Tell me why Monopoly LBJ and catchphrase not Little Baby Jesus. Tell me what's going on, man.
What my illustrious partner did for you was paint a picture where his game could possibly lead to something else that's not the game, because the game is really not that interesting without the other things. What I talked to you about was a game where a game is the game, and the game is all that is. We don't play catchphrase on this side to try to get to naked bitches. If I want naked bitches, I go to a strip club, or I say, hey, boo, let's get naked. When I want to play a board game, when I want the mind fuck of, I see him making moves over here. He bought that property. It is, I'm out for me, because that is what a board game is supposed to be about. It is a finite game. It has an objective. That objective is to win the game. We went to Aspen with other aspirations. We were supposed to ski and shit.
You don't get to add that as a pro
game. Monopoly, I have the mic.
You get to add that it's finite as a pro when y'all play that shit for 12 hours and catchphrase has hot potato features. I call bullshit. Objection.
That's what it's finite.
Objection.
It has a.
Does masturbators have objections?
We haven't established those rules, so no.
Okay.
It is a finite game. You are in this game to win the game. Herm Edwards said, you play to win the game. Not for naked bitches. Did Herm Edwards say you play for naked bitches? He did not. You play to win the game. And
he said that after losing the game.
He did.
So who gives a fuck what he be talking about?
He understands games. He understands objective. He was one of 32 at his job in the world. He's good at what he does. He might have lost that one that day, but he is one of 32 that does what he does at that time. And he understands when you pull out the game, you play to win it. That's what Monopoly is. It is a game where you grab that damn thimble, you roll the motherfucking dice, and every dice roll matters because somebody can land on something that may end up taking money out your pocket or putting money in it. Individual pieces is the game of life. You came in this world butt naked, alone, crying, looking at motherfuckers who you don't even recognize these bitches. Catchphrase to put you on a team, sure enough, it'll put you on a team. And Monopoly, you build your team or you play by yourself. You, like we talked about in the previous segment, the Wall Street Journal, you have the power to decide how your day go, how your team get formed, how you perform, how you negotiate. You learn about taxes. You learn about real estate. You learn about money. You learn about other people and what they willing to do to cut your throat. So how you gonna play this game, player?
And yes, why would the GOAT game be a game that is a microcosm of all the things that are horrible about the real world? Obsession with property and hoarding everything for yourself. Obsession with money and how much money you have. Taking the people closest to you and taking what they have for yourself, because winning is not hitting a certain amount of money. It's being the last person left with money, being out for self. The GOAT board game is one that teach niggas crab in a bucket syndrome. Fuck out of here. He told you that Catchphrase was a game where I tried to cloud its beauty with everything around it. No. What I talked to you about was the GOAT board game being a seed that when planted leads to families being bonded, leads to a kid being treated like a peer with people he sees as gods. I talked to you about a connection through colloquialisms, random movies that we've seen, connections we know we had. Like, why in the world when I said pickle did you yell Drew Barrymore? I have no idea. But I knew that's who you were talking about. Like, you know what? Let's get some turkey. Let's talk. And now we talking about Game of Thrones and random shit, video games that we both like. I talked to you about something that built connections as opposed to broke people down and pitted them against each other. Yes, I talked to you about teams, but Catchphrase in and of itself is inception. It is something that you plant into a group of people that you divide in half and then say, what connects us? Because one of the most beautiful things of Catchphrase is when the girls don't get it and a guy yells, this what it was, ain't it? Which clue did you get it? I got it when you said this. That was the first thing I said. I said, yeah, girl, that's why we married. And now husband and wife sitting across from each other on opposite teams. That team just lost. This team just scored a point. They looking at each other like, I knew I married you for a reason. And I'm sitting there as a kid and like, yeah, that's cold. But if we playing Monopoly, husband and wife sitting there like, yeah, bitch, I need $675. You see me on Boardwalk. I got hotels and everything on that thing. You see me out this bitch. And he tried to say that shit finite after telling y'all they went on vacation and played that shit for 12 hours while getting hammered drunk. Yeah, get the fuck up out of here, Cass. Get the fuck up out of here, bro. Catchphrase you could pick up and take with you anywhere. You could be rock climbing and hanging suspended at 2 miles high and pass catchphrase back and forth. And that should be just as cold as it was at sea level. And I talked to y'all about elevation last episode. Check out Give Me Some Headlines, episode 9. On what platforms, my guy?
We are on Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music, Deezer, Audible, soon to be on SoundCloud, YouTube, Apple. We coming everywhere. Give me some headlines.
You heard me? And we spreading the gospel of the GOAT board games, man. And I let my dog P retort, and I let him close it out because I feel like I said everything I need to say about the GOAT catchphrase. What you got to say about Monopoly to sway the people?
When I told you why I was in Aspen, I went there for New Year's. I went there for skiing. I went there for ski bunnies, naked bitches. I went there for all these reasons. And me and my friends decided once we got to this house in Aspen, we was going to sit around a table for 12 hours and enjoy each other's company. Sure enough, it does tear some people apart. But I told you in the beginning, it teaches you about people's character. I told you also that it created marriages. One of those marriages that happened in the game, two people who were single at that time, today, when they created that game in Monopoly, today they are married. They got a son named Baby G. Shout out Baby G. That game, that was literally the linchpin in those two getting together.
Did you officiate
to form there forever? Literally, they have a family now because of that night. Because of that night, they played Monopoly. It taught them about character. That man who had everything was willing to bring up. No, I'm sorry. It was the woman who had everything, and the man didn't have shit. And she brought him into her team because I saw the risks he was taking, and I fucked with the risks that boy was taking. Let me put him on my team. Let's get Monopoly married. Showed her his character, showed him her character. They are married today. I was recently at their house, met their baby for the first time. Greatest board game ever. Has the potential to tear shit apart, but it has the potential to create the everlasting. Monopoly.
Well, while we agree that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, this debate will not be solved nor settled in this conversation. We'll put up a poll here soon and let the people decide. In the meantime, my brother, could you give me some headlines?
Sure damn will. The USDA, shout out Jeezy, is set to give black farmers debt relief. They've heard, you know what I'm talking about. The USDA is set to give black farmers debt relief. They've heard that one before. A student was denied his diploma for wearing the Mexican flag at graduation.
Oh, wow.
A black nonprofit got a 6-figure payment from someone whose family enslaved people. All these stories are from the NPR. Shout out to NPR. It's one of the podcasts that we follow, one of the several podcasts that we follow, one of the platforms that we respect and we hold dear. Come with great information, great content.
Shout out to the Tiny Desk, baby.
Yeah, Tiny Desk.
NPR.
Great artists doing their motherfucking thing in a very small setting, but they come with big performances. So shout out to NPR. I will go back through those headlines one more time.
Hold up. I was gonna ask you to go back through them headlines, and because they're from the NPR, could you please lower your voice a little bit and give them to me in a tone a little more appropriate?
Talk about the
thank you.
NPR, they
let that bass shine.
Reserved people.
Thank you so much. Get close to that mic and deliver them to me in a way that I can really digest them, so I can really see which one I want to choose for the people.
The USDA is set to give black farmers debt relief. They've heard that one before. A student was denied his diploma for wearing the Mexican flag at graduation. A black nonprofit got a 6-figure payment from someone whose family enslaved people. These are your headlines. Choose wisely.
Naturally, as a lover of both European Spanish culture and Hispanic culture from South America, as well as North America and Mexico, Guatemala, all the different countries up here. And Brazil got me trying to learn Portuguese, so shouts out to them. I'm very intrigued by people being threatened by someone being proud of their heritage. And whenever love of one's heritage is seen as an attack on someone else and treated as an offense, I think it deserves to have a light shined on it so that we can talk about what that instinct is. Because I told you, how someone responds to something says so much more about them than it does about the thing. I eat a pepper and I go, that's some good shit. You eat a pepper, your eyes turn fiery red and you start crying. You don't eat very much spicy food. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I eat it and act like it ain't shit. Oh, that motherfucker, he must be Southern. You can start to make suppositions about me if I eat something like, God damn, boy. You can't taste the heat in that red beans and rice? Nigga, I'm sweating. Like, bro, I'm from Decatur. I don't know what to tell you. It's good as fuck. But spicy, it is not. I need some hot sauce if you got some. We be putting hot sauce in shit that other niggas be sweating eating. You feel what I'm saying? So for someone to be at a pinnacle moment in their life, they spent 12 years of their life working through K through 12, 13 years if you add kindergarten. Shouts out to kindergarten teachers. Y'all some patient and loving motherfuckers. I love you guys. Shouts out to you guys, kindergarten teachers.
Straight up.
Shouts out to this young brother. Before you even educate me on this story, I love you. Shouts out to Mexico. Viva la Mexico. More, you know what I'm saying? Love. I love you guys. And just know that if any way I can help give one of y'all a platform, you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be shat upon like whatever happened with this situation. You know what I'm saying? This is really disturbing, and I feel like I want to hear more about it, not because I want more negativity, but this young man deserves to have a huge platform, and they tried to take him getting his diploma away. And I pray as many people as possible hear you talk about this young man and hear you talk about his pride for his country, his heritage, where him and his people come from potentially, or his mom and pop and grandparents. Because a connection to your past is something that a lot of melanated people have been stripped of. So for people who have it, nurture it and love it. I love you. I respect your right to it. And I believe that is something that should be watered and given to the world, because through you, It's how I become educated and have fell in love with your culture, with your cuisine, with your people. And it's going to be a love affair with me to the day that I die, with the music, with the culture, with the literature. My favorite book is The Invention of More, written by Adolfo Bioy Casares. And it's a Spanish novella that I read originally in Spanish and became obsessed with, and got the English version from my dog T. Rarely, who we talked about last episode too. Shouts out to the brother. But yeah, man, I love you guys. I love your culture. I love the language. I love the literature. And I'm deeply studying the language to become fluent again, because I want to be able to connect with the people. So please shine a light on this young brother through this situation that was negative in its genesis, but we about to turn into a positive, because we love and we don't do that hate shit.
Yes, sir. The headline again is: a student was denied his diploma for wearing the Mexican flag at graduation. Evra Lopez, 18, wore the Mexican flag over his graduation robe at his high school graduation ceremony. The school withheld his diploma, claiming he violated the dress code. Asheboro, North Carolina. A North Carolina high school senior was denied his diploma because he draped a Mexican flag over his gown in violation of a graduation dress code, school officials said. A 68-second video of the graduation at Asheboro. Shout out to Asheboro. I had some players that I coached at Lenore Ryan that went to Asheboro. Very, very strong, principled people come from Asheboro, North Carolina. And I say that with fervor. Asheboro High School on Thursday shows the student wearing the flag over his gown, on his back and his shoulders as he proceeds toward the stage, WGHP reported. The video shows the student being handed a diploma holder and moving on to receive his diploma. It then shows him appearing to talk to people in the line for a few seconds before he returns to his seat without his diploma. Asheboro school officials defended the decision to withhold the student's diploma, saying that wearing a flag of any kind is a violation of the dress code. Quotes: the heart of the issue is the fact that the student did not follow the established dress code for the event and detracted from the importance and the solemnity of the ceremony, officials said in one of two statements. Quote, our dress code is in place to ensure the dignity of the events is upheld and is fair to all students, close quotes. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll be brief, because I said a lot of what I had to say on the front end, and then I'll throw it to you. I appreciate you for giving me that option when I did so much talking on the front end. I'll just simply say this. Both of my diplomas I call receipts. They are simply proof that I took the necessary courses, got the necessary grades and the necessary requirements. As far as college, I paid the necessary tuitions in order to receive the certification for college preparatory degree coming out of Decatur High, and for a Bachelor of Arts in economics coming out of Sewanee. They are receipts. They are not awards. They are not gifts. They are not this thing you bestowed upon me. That shit is proof I did something. And that young man wearing a flag does not negate anything he did in the K through 12 process to grant him his receipt. So I'd be damned if they convince me that there's a justification for not giving that man his receipt as he left the store, because they're not going to make him take another class. And that's all I really got to say about it. Give him his motherfucking receipt.
To camelback off your comment, you are exactly right. That is that young man's receipt that he worked for probably 13 years, K through 12, putting in that work, sitting in those classrooms, The thing that probably kept that young man in that seat for those 13 years was the pride in his heritage, that he was able to be in this country to receive that education as a young man from the Mexican bloodline, culture, and heritage. And he, in that moment, felt that proud to say, it's not about my high school. This is for my country. We would not dare do that to a child who was draped in an American flag that said, I worked on this for my country, for my parents, for my grandparents, for my great-grandparents who fought so I could be here. We wouldn't dare do that to a child who is draped in an American flag. We should not do that to somebody who is a citizen of this country who happens to have a heritage that is not of this country. So let's not pretend this is about a dress code at all. This is about a prejudice about this young man and where he comes from and what he has pride in. And for people who have pride in things that this country does not have pride in those same things, they try to knock you down a notch. When you have the audacity, which you very well deserve, ever, Lopez, don't you lose that, young man. Don't let them knock you down. You earned that, and this was supposed to happen. This was supposed to happen. We were supposed to talk about you on Gimme Some Headlines. We were supposed to highlight you and your accomplishments, man. And everybody in your class that do the same and feel the same as you, who may not have had the courage to do what you did, if y'all move on and go to the next level and you go to college and you graduate and you get that receipt, have that courage. Drape yourself in whatever you feel proud about.
Round two.
Especially for people in a country that have loved on you, that made you feel that pride in that flag. Don't lose that ever, Lopez. Congratulations, young man. Congratulations to everybody at Ashboro High School. Congratulations to everybody that received their receipt from around this country and every other fucking country out there. Drape yourself in what makes you proud and don't ever stop doing that shit, man. That's your headlines, bro.
Do you think I should risk connecting back to the other Wi-Fi?
Nah.
Because you starting to slow down, and I feel like the other one might be fucking up.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, I'm going to try to watch a movie on the phone. But this is what I'll say to keep the topic going, man. We going to leave that in, too, because we real with it. You said something just then that I want to highlight, my brother. The way he feels about his heritage. They don't know this young man's story. He could potentially be the first generation I don't know what we call Mexican Americans. I guess it would be, you know what I'm saying? That's what they call African Americans, which we not African Americans, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah. He might be first generation to go and get his, you know what I'm saying? He might be the oldest brother in his family. And the pride he attached to being of Mexican descent, the pride he attached to his family, his heritage, everything he come from, the way he feel about who he is as a person, the pride he attached to that, it is at its apex in this moment. That is what he is communicating when he drapes that flag over that graduation gown. He is saying the way I feel about who I am as a person, that's how I feel about having fought through all the shit it took to get here today. I love this moment and what I have achieved through this scholastic effort. Like I love my family. He is celebrating with you when he draped that flag. He isn't separating himself from other South Carolinians and Americans. He is connecting his heritage to this moment and saying, we achieved this. For those of you who sacrificed to get us here, I did this for you. For those of you behind me, this the new standard. It's something we communicate to ourselves and to each other when we do shit like that. But understand that that's why I preface this by saying, when we show pride and you take it as an attack on self, that says way more about you than it says about us. Because I'm just giving you an inkling into something this young man is communicating when he draped that self, that pride, that history, that heritage over an achievement. He's been working 13 years as an 18-year-old. More of his life than he hasn't. He has been committed to this effort. And who his family is, who he come from, he connect with this moment. All he has ever known, since he has truly been making memories, not just being told stories about shit he did when he was 3 and then retelling those stories. And those stories are stories of something that he's been told happened to him, but are not true memories he truly remembers and feels and experiences. But since he's truly been making memories, he's been working toward this fucking goal, and he connects it to everything his family has been through to get to this moment. How dare you, in the last little bit of fucking control you will have over this individual, say something about yourself, not him, because I love him. And I say his name again for me, P.
Ever Lopez, Ever Lopez, and I'll make sure I got that right. I'm gonna make sure, Ever Lopez of Asheboro High School. I don't even high school no highlight because they.
Oh yeah, let them know though, so the people can go light their ass up. But Ever Lopez, I love you, sir, and I want to say, we gonna use this platform to love on you and shine a light on you and shine a light on Mexico, people of Mexican heritage, people of Hispanic heritage thriving and doing great things in America, like getting your diploma, going on to college, going on to careers, going on to pay taxes that help feed your community and pay your salary. Please don't let people who have negativity for you dissuade you in anything you pursue. Know that there are way more people out there who love you, and they may not have podcasts, they may not find your story, and they may not track you down to send you some love. But please don't think that the people who try to send you negativity with the last little bit of control they have over what's going on with you, please don't let them impact you more than the people in your heritage that you wanted to show pride and love to. Please continue to let that guide you and fuel you. Please focus on what gives you life and not the people who try to take it away. Because that person, like, I say this, and I say this religiously. The most dangerous thing in the wrong hands isn't any weapon that has ever been created. It's power. And these people who had a little bit of power, who tried to prevent you from something they can't actually prevent you from getting, you think if you need to send that to get a job or to apply for a college, you can't apply, you can't use your high school certification because you wore your like, they didn't do anything other than symbolically try to punish you for wearing a symbol of pride. So they are saying more about their character than they're saying about you, period. Do not let them make you shrink. You feel what I'm saying, bro? Let love guide your decisions and continue to shine, young brother. Ever Lopez, we love you here. Give me some headlines. Thank you for that show of pride. And thank you to all of the families who don't respect that wait to the end to yell shit. Fuck all that, man. You waited 13 years
That's
for
your
that
baby.
That's your baby.
Man, yeah.
That's your baby.
You said something while you were talking, G, and I want to highlight it real quick. In a moment where he should have been celebrating, or most people celebrate themselves, they do something to bring attention to themselves.
Yeah.
He did something very selfless. It brought attention to an entire country. In a moment where this is your achievement of 13 years of putting in this work, they got upset with him for bringing attention to an entire people instead of bringing attention to himself. Ever Lopez, you a pioneer, brother. And we gonna make sure that all the pioneers get their love, bro.
Facts. And just to show you a little more love.
Selfless act. Not selfish. That was a selfless act.
Pour gasoline on that fire you just lit, brother. You often meet your fate on the road you took to avoid it. They tried to extinguish your light by not giving you your diploma for wearing your flag. And now NPR has written a story about you, and podcasts are starting to talk about what you did to show pride. And Ever Lopez is all around the country. The young country dude from Decatur, Georgia, and the young dude from Fairhope, Alabama. You done hit our radar, and we talking about how much we love our brothers of Hispanic descent and people from Mexico and people from South America. You hit your target. You showed your pride, and you got us talking about our pride and our love for you and your culture. You feel what I'm saying? So understand that they tried to extinguish your light, and all they did was explode it. You feel what I'm saying? So please, if any ounce of doubt or negativity creeped into how you felt, I pray this audio hit your earwaves. And you take it out there and follow your instincts to more greatness. Love, love, love.
And we didn't even plan it to happen.
And congratulations, like this, man. Congratulations on graduating, man. Facts. Whether they gave you your receipt or not, bro, you graduated. You feel what I'm saying? If you go into the convenience store and your king size M&Ms cost $2.73 and you hand them $2.73 and you walk outside and you eating M&Ms, whether he handed you your receipt or not, my nigga, you still get to enjoy some chocolate and peanuts, right? So congratulations, Ever Lopez. You did that shit, man. Hard work pays off, man. No days off, baby. You did it. We did it. We outside, girl.
We outside.
We outside.
And to give you some headlines, we so good at this shit. We didn't plan this whatsoever. I didn't know that my dog was going to pick that headline and we was going to stroll into the next topic of conversation. And so we are doing a segment called Rep Your City. And this week happens to be after one of the co-hosts returns from the great country of Mexico. I officiated a wedding for some friends in the great, I want to say País. Is País country?
Nigga, you the one that was country. There?
Yeah, C.O.W. is city, País is country. And the País of Mexico. I was in Cabo, San Lucas. I would like to give a shout out, man, to the great people of, and I was talking to a gentleman who lives there. He was like, nobody's really from here. But he says we all made the migration to here once people from north of the border started to come down here and spend their money here, because they were the only people who really had the money to come down here, man. And you see like the countryside and like the shanty townships, and you meet like the people and you have conversations, and you see that how hardworking and how genuine and how deliberate and how attentive and how spirit-filled and prideful the people of Mexico and Cabo are, or just in Mexico in general, man. Like from the time that I landed in Cabo, from the time that I got back on the plane to head out, man, every interaction that I had was fruitful. And we went to this restaurant, and a gentleman came over and we had a quick conversation. And we were just talking about, you know, what I was there for, who I was there with. And he might have just been holding a conversation with me so he can look at my lady a little bit because she was looking good. But that's fine. But at the same time, I really enjoy getting to experience other people's culture and listen to people share with me how they feel about their culture, and see how much pride people have in their culture, and how much pride and love they have in themselves and their families, and with the things that constitute where they are, who they are, and where they are from. And so I gotta show y'all some love down in Mexico and Cabo, and I plan to actually be down there twice in 2 months. I'll be back there in another 2 weeks, man. So thank y'all for doing.
Can I crash?
Who y'all are. Oh yeah, I was gonna pass the mic to you, man, but go ahead.
No, I'm talking about the shit in 2 weeks.
You got to bring somebody. You got to bring a significant other. It's a couple's trip.
Oh, I thought it was another wedding. I was just gonna fly down there and find a bridesmaid. I'm good on that couple shit. I ain't trying to crash the wedding topic. I just want to ask you a few questions to give you more time to tee off and do your thing, man. You know, you rep your cities is your joints. Did you read any scriptures in your introduction to the actual vows?
I did read some scripture, yeah.
What you choose?
I chose damn, you done put me on the spot. I could pull it up right quick.
I'm sorry. I talked to the people.
I chose.
You ain't gotta feel while you look it up. But yeah, the reason I asked is because one of my favorite films is Wedding Crashers, and they be gambling on what the dude is gonna choose when he doing his vows. And I want to know if my dog hit the old Google machine for what would be good for love. Cause this he got skin in the game. My dog been rapping for about probably 13, 14 years. But he been officiating weddings for like 5 or 6 of these guys. So I want to know if he in a bag or he half-assed it, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if the newlyweds listen to the podcast. I'm sorry that I'm talking about your wedding like it's just a thing. But, man, we having a conversation on wax, man. This how I talk, man.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know me. Y'all don't fucking know me, man.
I didn't.
And I hate to talk to y'all like that. But y'all don't fucking know me, man. This how I talk. Go ahead, bro.
I did not hit the Google machine, but what I did was I looked up my sermon, I guess, or ceremony speech was centered around love as an action. Like love is a verb, and so it requires action. And so I used 5 verses and I put them all back to back to back to back to back.
Ooh, okay.
Back. I think that's 5. And so, like, I talked about like how love is a recurring theme in the Bible. Above all, God requires us to love, provide scripture.
Hold up.
About its importance
You know, the
examples on
heart
how to-
have
yeah,
5 points. The heart have 5 points. You got the one at the bottom. 2, 3, 4, and then the one right here. So for you to have chose 5, it fit the love theme. You see what I'm saying? I had to tell you that. You know, I told you I've been numbers matter. I had to interject that. I apologize. I had to interject that. Go ahead. Numbers matter.
That was up.
Numbers matter. Yeah. So for you to have chosen 5 from a literature standpoint works structurally and cosmically with the universe. So they should be very happy that you chose that.
That was up, but they were super happy, man. I'll give you some of the feedback later on. But the 5 I chose was Ephesians 4, 2 and 3, with all humility and gentleness, with patience and bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of spirit in the bond of peace. Colossians 3:14, and over all these virtues put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Romans 13:8, owe no one anything except to love each other, for the one who loves another has fulfilled the law. 1 Corinthians 16:14, do everything in love. John 15:12, my command is this, love each other as I have loved you. And so those were the 5 that I chose. And then I tied that into one of my favorite books that I read last year during the pandemic's strongest of times, which was The Road Less Traveled, written by M. Scott Peck, MD. And he talked about how love is an extension of self to grow somebody else's, to grow yourself or somebody else's spiritual growth. But yeah, man, those are the ones that I chose and got a lot of good feedback from the father of the bride.
If you ain't take a lady down there, you'd have definitely got you some snatchatory, you know what I'm saying, calamari while you were
dynamite. Yeah, they saw me with her everywhere I went, though. I told you got to come down there. It was a couple home wreckers down there.
Oh yeah?
You got to come with me. Yeah. We knew about them before we even went down there.
I feel like you dodging a few landmines in the show structure.
Yeah. I told you I don't want to break it down.
Yeah, man. You said, man, I can't talk about that, then talk about marriage. And I respect that. I was like, when we had the show meeting was 3 hours, y'all. I was like, damn, I don't think he realized he talking about that right before he talk about officiating the wedding. But yeah, though, this is Spike P joint, and I got to come up with a name for episodes directed for my shit. I do a lot of the branding and coming up with nicknames and shit, y'all, because I like nickname and shit. But Spike P joint is fire. You feel what I'm saying? I got to come up with a name for the city joint for the Montavious Dyson vehicles. You know what I'm saying? The tabular razzles. Got some razzle dazzles. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's a hell of a rep your city, man.
And in the spirit of repping cities, shout out to C.O.D, DecaturboyMusic. The C in C.O.D standing for the city of Decatur. In some instances, cash on delivery. Say C.O.D. My dog got something forward.
Oh man, C.O.D. cash on delivery, coming on D's because I do bust nuts on titties. My dog said cash on delivery. Cause I need that for you touch the pack. Yeah, I'm talking about whatever it is. I'm gonna need the money for you see that. You know what I'm saying? Chosen one, David. You know what I'm saying? When you know what I'm saying? God sent Samuel into the home to find the next king. You know what I'm saying? He thought he knew what he was looking for, but the Lord had other plans. You know what I'm saying? The chosen one and the forgiven one, chosen one day. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn city of Decatur. City of
Can I say something on your
DHM.
behalf right quick?
Go for it.
When you think about basketball and you think about the greats of basketball, you really got to watch out for those guys. They are labeled by two first names: LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, Kareem Abdul. This man fucking got 3. Jabbar,
Samuel, David,
Allen. When we talk about greats, I'm telling you, when you listening to a great nigga with 3 first names,
I'm out here.
think about the greats. The glove, Gary Payton. Think about cats who have done something who have been great at that shit. They got 2 first names. So, but yeah, man, my dog C.O.D. We are getting ready to embark on we are artists, we are recording artists, we are producers, he is an engineer. I was about to say,
what did we shit?
getting ready to take a trip along the third coast. We call it the third coast. We're gonna sell this third coast craftsmanship. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia also is connected because that's where one of the flights will originate from. So we
rest in peace to DMX. My brother don't know this, but I done downloaded a bunch of DMX albums. This a 9-hour road trip. Our catalog is enough to fill up the whole road trip, but we do that a lot. So part of the road trip, we gonna go through a DMX like hit list, and they're right here. Gonna be the Country Cousins. Can I say the whole shit, bruh? Oh my God, I'm gonna have to zip that out. After we both good and fuck the ew. Pause. After we both feel like we have a rhythm and an understanding of the games, maybe going into the third casino, we'll agree on initial investment. You can't gamble more than you started with at this point. And then that's when we'll say whoever come out with more out of this casino wins the bet. But I'm finna win so much motherfucking money this weekend. That bet will probably come from all the money I won from the first 2 casinos. So he may get the shit on me, but it'll be from money he won with money I gave him to win, because I be balling. I be fucking shit up. And because I'm going in here not to win money for myself, but to give us fuck off money for the rest of the weekend, watch what the universe do. I'm going to teach you niggas how to gamble. I'm not going in here to win money or to gamble rent money. I'm going in here with entertainment. Because it's a road trip, we can't be in here forever. So I'm thinking, if I'm at reasonable limit tables, how much could I gamble with for an hour and drink? That's what I'm limiting myself to as an initial investment. And if we end up staying in there for a long ass time because I'm on a hot streak, who complaining? You feel me? You with that shit, P? I get up $300. What we gonna do? Put away $200 and just get a fucking room and keep gambling. You feel what I'm saying? I'm out. Here go 50. I got 50. Let's keep gambling. And if you don't feel like driving, we'll stop somewhere. That what that 200 for. You feel what I'm saying? Straight up. We finna do this shit.
Up, and they gonna be like, we want our money back.
Exactly. You feel me? Like, shit, we need to get on the road. I need to cash out. They like, nah. Y'all ain't got to get on the road. How far y'all going? Shit, y'all got some shows here tonight? Nigga, we finna get all kind of free shit, cause we gonna be full of life. You talk to Miami? You talk to Holy Moly Donut Shop?
I hit him up. He hadn't hit me back yet. So I know he was on set for something else. So I haven't gotten confirmation.
Okay. But yeah, man, you want to wrap it up?
Man, every episode we get better at this shit, man, and we getting better at this shit so we can be better for the people, to the people, because that's what we here for. That's what keep bringing us back. That's what's going to keep us motivated to keep moving this thing forward. That's what's going to keep us moving to try to evolve this thing into something better every single time. This has been Give Me Some Headlines, the first season. We in double digits now, y'all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for find us on all these different platforms. Amazon Music, Spotify, Deezer, Audible, soon to be SoundCloud, YouTube. We finna be on Patreon. We finna bring this thing to the people every single place where podcasts are consumed, where audio is consumed, where video is consumed, because
you ain't gotta find us. We gonna find
We gonna come find you. We gonna come find you. You ain't gotta come find us, man. We talking like this in the fucking beginning because we coming to get y'all ass and bring you into the community to have conversations on wax. This shit started from telephone and in-person conversations years ago, and we finally decided, man, you know what? We should say this shit on microphones. And now we 10 episodes in, and y'all been mobbing with us the whole time. So this is more so about you than it is about us. Thank you from the co-hosts of Give Me Some Headlines. We appreciate you. We love you. We out this thing, man.
Yeah. C.O.D. DecaturboyMusic. I had to hit him with one of them. I had to hit him with one of them in forever. You feel me? Go ahead and end the record.